Hey folks, welcome back to Raider Record Room, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm your host, Josh Clark, and joining me today is Ryland Black, one of Mount Union's own. Ryland, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm well. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a sophomore here at Mount Union, like you said earlier. I'm on the soccer team, double major in biology and Spanish, and just do music on the side.
Yeah.
Enjoyable hobby.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to ask you more about, Mount Union related things, because, you're the first guest on our show to actually attend Mount Union. So what made you want to come here?
So I have some family who lives really close by, and growing up they were always saying, oh, you have to come to Mount Union, you got to check it out. And I'm from Bowling Green, and so I always had my heart set on going to BGSU. And then as I got older, I got interested in playing soccer, and the Mount Union coach reached out to me and ended up coming on a visit, really liked it, really clicked with the guys. And I guess my family, they were right, so they got to say I told you so. And I love it here. It's second home.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your introduction to music.
So my dad actually got me into music when I was really young, and he was very, thought it was really important that I played a lot of music, so if I was going to be playing video games or something, he wanted me to play music or guitar or whatever for the same amount of time. He called it balance, and that was one of the big things for me growing up. And then at some point it changed from being a chore to something that I really enjoyed. And then I didn't really start singing until senior year of high school, and I could not give you a reason why. I just was reluctant, and then at some point something clicked, and music just became something that I really enjoyed, and I wish I would have started singing and stuff earlier, especially in public.
I'm really curious, what's it like to be a student and also a musician?
It's difficult sometimes because I don't always have the time that I'd like to sit down and play or write or do something like that. And especially with soccer as well, just any free time I have is either taken up by soccer or studying or working on my classes. But I try to at least set some time aside to be able to get back to it and enjoy myself a little bit.
That's awesome. So now, as far as seriousness, is this something you want to pursue as your career?
I don't think so. So like I said earlier, I'm a biology and Spanish major, and I'm not sure exactly where that's going to go yet. But I think that regardless of whether my music career takes off or anything, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life just because it's something I enjoy. But I'm not putting all my hopes on this.
Yeah, so you're just kind of doing it for like a therapeutic aspect and just an enjoyable kind of thing?
Kind of de-stress.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, do you have any dreams and aspirations for it? Do you see your name somewhere someday?
I think it'd be really cool to put out a lot of music on Spotify or Apple Music, and just so friends or family or anybody else who enjoys it can listen to it, and maybe playing just small gigs at coffee houses or little festivals, small festivals like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And in Bowling Green, there's actually a music festival called the Black Swamp Arts Festival, and there's a lot of local musicians who play there, and I think that's my goal, would be to be able to play there.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's backtrack here a bit.
Okay.
What kind of music do you play?
So I don't know if you've ever heard of the band. They opened for Bob Dylan. They played with him a little bit, and so a lot of older music, I'd say, because I was, I think, the early 60s or through the 60s. A lot of the Grateful Dead. It was a lot of the music my dad played when he was in college and when he had his band and stuff. And so that was kind of the music that I grew up playing just because it was the songs that he knew. And every summer we would meet up with his old college friends and old bandmates, and then their kids also played music. And so we'd all end up joining our parents on the songs they played when they were in a band together. And so some folk, classic rock, I guess. Kind of a weird mix. Some country.
Yeah, that's really cool. I enjoy that kind of music myself.
Yeah.
So as far as proactiveness, what have you done to really promote yourself and get your name out there?
Not much. So I have a band back home called Circus Dog, and we didn't have any original music. We just played some covers, and I think played maybe 4 times in public. And at some point, one of my friends was like, you know what, if you guys are going to be serious about this, you guys should start writing music. So me and one of my friends from back home, his name's Gabe Sayer, we sat down one day and we're like, all right, we're not leaving this table till we write a song. It doesn't matter how bad it is, we're just going to get one done. And so we ended up writing 2 songs that night that were just kind of like for fun. And from there, it kind of took off. It became like something therapeutic that even when I was like by myself, I would write a little bit. And then we had the idea that come New Year's, we would release an album. That was our goal. And we set this around Thanksgiving. So we had not much time to like record a whole album, but that was a pretty lofty goal. And we ended up just recording 1 song and used like YouTube tutorials and stuff to edit it and clean it up, and ended up releasing that on New Year's. So technically, it was the first song of the decade. We tied anybody else who did the same thing, but technically we're the first, so even if it doesn't become famous, it's a pretty cool thing to claim.
That's clever, man. I gotta give that to you. That's really clever. So, you know, just a little bit back to you now. Like, do you have, what's your biggest inspiration? You know, if you could name like a person, who would it be that would be most influential on, you know, the music you display?
I'd say probably just most influence overall is definitely my dad, because he was the musician that I heard the most growing up. He was the one who got me into music, who like taught me how important it was, and the one who like showed me how to find joy in it. And so he's definitely like the most influential. But I'd say from a songwriting perspective, there's a guy who I actually found on YouTube. His name is Bryan, and he's this country singer-songwriter, and he's not super big, but a lot of his songs are really just raw. It's just him and a guitar, and hearing him like write some of his songs and then hearing him play them, it was just something that really resonated with me, because I realized I'm like, this is just a guy with a guitar who wants to tell some stories. He's not doing it as a full-time career. He just does it because it's therapeutic, and it's something that I'd really love to capture eventually in some of my songwriting.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that answer, actually, because it was kind of like, it kind of displays you. You know, you kind of seem like that kind of bare bones, just you and a guitar kind of guy, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so last question here. I'm sure you've heard of it. You know, if you were stuck on an island, you can listen to one album forever, what would it be and why?
The Last Waltz by the band. Just because it was, so basically the band, like it was their last big hurrah. They, I guess like recorded this last album with a bunch of live songs, and then some that they recorded in studio, but it has like all of their classics. And I've been listening to those songs since middle school maybe, but sometimes when you listen to a song, it gets old and you're like, oh man, I can't hear this anymore. But that's not the case with that album. And so that's like the only CD I have in my car. And if I don't want to play music from my phone, I'll just listen to that on repeat. Or if I'm going to listen to music from my phone, sometimes it's that album. It's at the top of my list. That's just my go-to. And there's also a lot of features on it. So like Van Morrison plays with them, Bob Dylan plays with them. It's just a lot of the music I like and grew up with. So there's some nostalgia to it too. But that would definitely be the one.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show and taking the time out of your day to do this, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, great. So I understand you're willing to play something for us?
Yeah, I've got a song I wrote called Ocean that I'm going to play for you guys. Hope you like it.
Great, thanks.
Sometimes I think I gotta find my own way, and that I'm never gonna be satisfied if I stay. And then I hear a voice telling me to turn and run. It says don't stop running until you hit the ocean. And everybody says life is less stressful on the beach, and living a life with less stress sounds good to me. So I'm gonna pack my bag, my guitar and some rum, and I won't stop trucking until I hit the ocean. I'm gonna walk into the big man's office to tell him I quit, and maybe even tell him to shove it when he throws a fit. Now I got this weight off my shoulders and it weighed a ton, and there's nothing to stop me until I hit the ocean. So hold on, we'll be there soon. Nothing but the sky, the sun, the waves and the sand dunes, and not a single worry on my mind, except for how this corona needs a line. But boy, am I glad I had the sense to run all the way here to the ocean. That's it. If you'd like to hear more, be sure to follow me on Instagram or Spotify, Apple Music. Thanks for watching.